Good morning students, I am Jacob, your English teacher. So today we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter number 5, Indigo, from your Flamingo book, written by Louis Fisher. So Louis Fisher describes that how Gandhiji took up the cause of helping the poor peasants of Champaran. This chapter is about poor farmers who were asked by the landlords to grow indigo crop in 15% of their land. So the peasants were poor and illiterate, and they actually signed an agreement, or they were asked to get into an agreement wherein they would have to pay certain amount, certain sum to free their land from the Englishmen. So when Gandhiji took up this cause, it was a struggle for them, and finally the Englishmen agreed to pay 25%. Although they were asked to pay 50%, but still they agreed to pay 25% of whatever they have actually extorted from the poor farmers. So now in this chapter we would read what all events happened from the beginning till the end. So let's read and find out. Chapter number 5, Indigo, Flamingo book, and page number is 46. Let's start. When I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. That how he took up the initiative to make the British depart from India. He had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted, a peasant came to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emaciated, and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla, I am from Champaran, and I want you to come to my district. Gandhi had never heard of the place. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. So now Gandhi is actually telling that a peasant, a farmer named Rajkumar Shukla came to me and asked me to visit his district, that is Champaran, which is on the foothills of Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. So in this paragraph, the meaning of convention is meeting, that on December 1916 there was an annual convention of the Indian National Congress where there were many delegates, there were many representatives, and during the proceedings, during the meeting, the convention, Gandhiji recounted means described, that a farmer named Rajkumar Shukla came to me and asked me to come over to his place. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. He was illiterate but resolute. Although he was illiterate, but he was firm, determined. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. So he was actually frustrated by the system that was going on in Champaran, and somebody suggested him to go visit Mahatma Gandhi. He is probably going to help you. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur, which is Kanpur now, and was also committed to go to other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks he never left Gandhi's side. So when somebody told Rajkumar Shukla that Gandhi is going to be of great help, so wherever Mr. Gandhi used to go, Mahatma Gandhi used to go, he used to follow him. Whether he went to Kanpur or whether he went to his ashram in Ahmedabad, he used to follow him, stalk him. So, and what happened? Let's read. Fix a date, he begged. So he begged Mahatma Gandhi to fix a date to visit his place. Impressed by the sharekeeper's tenacity and story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such a date. Come and meet me and take me from there. So Gandhiji said, I'll be in Calcutta in old times, and come and meet me there and we'll go to your place. Months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. He waited till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress Party and India. So the first president, Rajendra Prasad, was firstly an advocate, a lawyer. Rajendra Prasad was out of town, but the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman who pestered their master to help the indigo sharecroppers. Okay, so Shukla was a poor landlord who used to trouble his master to help the indigo sharekeepers. So they let him stay on the grounds with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant, but Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. How did they know that he was not an untouchable? So you must have read it in your SST as well, that Gandhiji took up this cause of untouchability as well. Okay, so it is mentioned over here as well that he was not allowed to drink water because he was also considered to be untouchable. Rajkumar Shukla kept on waiting for Mr. Gandhi to get free, and finally when he was free from all his work, they both boarded a train to Patna. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, to obtain more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. So he wanted to collect more information about the issue that Shukla was talking about. So en route means on the way. So on the way to Champaran, he thought that Muzaffarpur was on the way to Champaran. So he thought, I'll first go to Muzaffarpur and collect more information about the issue. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kripalani of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen at Tagore's Shantiniketan school. The train arrived at midnight, 15th April 1917. Kripalani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. Large body of students means a lot of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani, a teacher in a government school. It was an extraordinary thing in those days. Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me. In smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. Okay, so over here, Gandhiji is saying, I am obliged, or I am actually, kind of amazed that a professor, how can a professor, a government professor, harbor means give shelter. How can a government professor give shelter to a person like me? Because that time it's written that Indians were afraid, they were scared of giving shelter to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. Home rule means whosoever, went against the British, the Englishmen, they were actually persecuted. So the people were afraid to actually harbor or give shelter to such people who were, advocates of home rule. The news of Gandhi's advent means arrival. The news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharekeepers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasant group in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. So, for the poor and illiterate peasants, poor farmers, Gandhiji was like you can say an angel for them who would actually help them get rid of this problem. So they actually started gathering. When they got to know that Mahatma Gandhi is in Muzaffarpur, they started gathering. Some came, by walk, some came with their conveyance. And after that they started telling about whatever was happening with them and the fee that they were charged. Gandhi chided the lords for collecting big fee from the sharekeepers. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good, where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken. Law courts are useless. The real relief from them is to be free from fear. Okay? So he said that going to the court, filing a case against whatever is happening with the poor farmers will be of no good, or maybe will be of little good. So he said that we would actually have to help the farmers get rid of the fear that they have in their mind for the landlords as well as the Englishmen, the Britishers. Most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. So arable means which is good for growing crops or good for farming. So most of the arable, fertile land was with Englishmen, was owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. Tenants means farmers. The chief commercial crop was indigo. So the commercial crop, the main crop was indigo. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. So they used to rent the land and they used to ask the farmers to grow indigo crop in 15% of their land. This was done by long-term contract. In the next class we would continue the chapter. So read the chapter and underline and write the meanings of the difficult words. If at all you have any query, you can message me on WhatsApp or you can discuss during our online class as well. So thank you students.